Hey, good evening, friends. We're live again tonight. This is night 96. Can you believe it? We are only 4 away from the first 100 days of going live straight. Better late than never. We did make it before midnight as far as getting started. It's been a crazy weekend, but we do want to get right into it. We're going to talk about Dogecoin tonight and just, what this week's been looking like. Going to kind of talk about the week in review. This is not going to be as long as most of the live streams are. It is a Sunday. We want to give everybody some time. And if you're watching the replay, want to welcome you as well. And if you're live, thanks for joining. We will get right into it. What we typically do first and what we will do is get into, in essence, a recap today showing the top cryptocurrencies and where they're at in the standings. There'll be no surprises with regards to where things are, but nonetheless, we'll go ahead and scroll through this. So we got Bitcoin, of course, at number 1. It has started working its way back up with regards to market cap, as we talked about yesterday. Over the weekend and last week and even the previous weekend, cryptocurrencies in general have been kind of beat up. Dogecoin we'll get to in a minute, but it has stayed fairly steady. But Bitcoin and Ethereum especially, and the broader market to a certain extent as well, has had a rough go of it. And as you can see, Bitcoin is at 52,000 right now. Ethereum's at 24.55. Ethereum would have been a good buy a couple of days ago. I'm not saying it's not a good buy now, but many of us, if we were thinking about buying into Ethereum, have already missed getting it at a even better discount. Bitcoin as well. It's hard to know if it has already reached the bottom of this down cycle. Excuse me. And if it has, then, my thought is Bitcoin is obviously at a discount and a good buy, especially if you believe those that are suggesting that Bitcoin is on a path to at least 200,000. I think if we had a crystal ball, I don't know who wouldn't try to find $52,000 and be able to have a whole Bitcoin, or maybe even 104,000 and have two. If you knew for sure it was going to hit 200 within a period of time that was acceptable to you, I would say even within 1 to 5 years for me, I would be all over it. So, but let's go through this. So we've got Bitcoin, 976 billion. It's normally 1.2 trillion or so, and we can actually click on it here in a minute. I think we can see the history of last several days. Ethereum, as always, normally is its second, a distant second, but nonetheless second. Binance Coin, BNB, is third. XRP is fourth. Tether is fifth. Cardano sixth, and then our darling Dogecoin is in number 7 at 34 billion. It's been as low, I believe, as 31, 32. So it's also my understanding, looking at some other data and stuff, it seems to be that the volume has kind of slowed down a little bit. I did not look today, be completely honest. As much as I would like to have had the time, I did not look and see what the whales have been up to today. I think it's without even looking, it would seem to me like they're continuing some of the same kind of activity, buying and selling and kind of keeping the price steady. It looks to me like I've been super busy today, working on other things, but it looks to me again that Dogecoin has been, in the 26 to 27 range for the last 2 days. So I believe it dipped down to 25 at some point. Might have been a good time to to buy in. It's hard to say, one person's dip is another person's, point where they're not ready to get in yet, if you will. So, Dogecoin number 7, Cardano number 6. I think we all know that Dogecoin has been as high as 5, and maybe it's on its way back up again. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see what the week ahead holds for us. So I don't have near as many references to go to today as far as research that I did. Again, today was a one of those days that a lot of other things going on, but did want to go live tonight and just see what's going on with people. And CK, good evening to you. Thanks for joining. And yes, we are going to the moon. I am ready for it to break out. I've almost given up, which I think is fine. I've almost given up on it ever going back down to, let's say, 17 or even 19 cents. If it does, I'm going to take advantage of that. But, it might be that 25 is the new kind of dip point for most of us. I don't know. It's hard to say. Everyone kind of has to set their own watermark, and it depends obviously on how much money you have available to basically put aside and be willing, in my opinion, to wait. Make sure you're putting money into these cryptocurrencies, especially that you don't need for your mortgage or to pay your car payment or rent or that type of thing. I know, unfortunately, I think, during leading up to 420 and on 420, I think, unfortunately, a lot of people did not see the results they were hoping for. And I think some of them, bought hoping that they could make a quick buck. And again, I'm fine with a quick buck. It's just unfortunate that it didn't go down that way. And so those that were prepared to hold, or I would say, are probably sitting much better than those that are, were looking for a fast dollar and maybe putting money in there that they really didn't have. And now they're in a situation where they may have to sell, or may have already sold, probably have already sold at a loss, because they needed their money back. And that's a shame. That's a real shame. So I do have, a few other things that I'm going to talk through. I have been talking a lot about Dogecoin, and we will continue. It is by far my favorite coin, but as I've been mentioning, it's been no secret that I've, talked about wanting more cryptocurrency in my portfolio, if for no other reason, for diversification, for, I think we would all, I hope, agree that as much as we love Dogecoin, it's not the only good altcoin out there. Bitcoin, as the granddaddy, even at fractional shares, I think is something that should be looked at to invest in. Ethereum, again, even though it's more expensive, something that you should definitely consider, buying partial coins with Robinhood, or maybe a couple, 3, 4, 10. It just depends on the kind of money that you have to put out there. But I don't think you can go wrong with Ethereum or Bitcoin for that matter. Again, just like Dogecoin, though, I think you're going to be better off and more likely to succeed if you can hold and be in a position where you can decide when to sell versus the market telling you when you have to sell because of a short-term goal that you had instead of a long-term goal. So with that in mind, I have been hearing quite a bit about VeChain, and I'm going to bring that up, and we're going to go back to Dogecoin, so don't lose heart and don't click off and go watch something else if you're only interested in Dogecoin, because we'll get back to it, but this may give you something else to look at. This is a coin that I'm just now starting to learn about, but it has some very practical uses in commerce, in business. It is designed to originally to help with supply chain, to track and trace, basically to know when something has basically left someplace. Like let's say you're a manufacturer, you've made a laptop or a widget, whatever it is, track it all the way from production to where it's being consumed. Internet of Things, a lot of different things. They're even saying, I believe, that they're going to adapt their blockchain to where they would somehow or another, and I don't understand it, but support other new altcoins coming out. So if we look at the performance over the day, thankfully, I was able to actually get in at in the 16-cent range. So I haven't looked at it. Its price right now, if this is correct, is $18.21. I got in at around 16 cents and change and didn't buy a bunch of it, but I will probably be buying more. And this is another altcoin which many believe will get to $1 by the end of this year, possibly $10 by next year. So this is one that I'm going to be looking at closer, researching more. And unless you tell me that you absolutely don't want to hear about it, I'm sure that I will save a segment of this show to talk about VeChain. And as my portfolio grows, talk about some others. I've always mentioned that, and I realize you're not able to see the screen, so I'll switch that over there. I've mentioned almost from the get-go other cryptocurrencies that I'm either interested in or have a position in. So I am not a one coin guy. As much as I love and adore and am invested in and fully supportive of Dogecoin, it's not the only thing that I hold or plan to hold. So here, now that you can see the chart, this is VeChain. 18.23 is the current price. The 24-hour low was 16, so I got it at 16.3 or something along those lines. And its market cap it's still considered a big cap. Anything over 10 million, I believe, is considered a big cap for cryptocurrencies, and it's at 10 billion, so not too shabby. And again, I think very promising and something I'm going to continue to look into. So we're going to return now to the comments and see what we got going on here. This may be one of those nights where it's a Sunday night, so we'll see the crowd that we have. But I also wanted to, I did have one other article, if you will, that I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to find it here. I think this is actually an interesting article, and I found this in the context of VeChain, but it's not specifically about VeChain, but at a time where a number of governments are talking about outlawing cryptocurrencies or regulating them significantly, or like in the United States, suggesting that they're going to raise the capital gains to, depending on where you live, combined with state taxes, up to 50% on long-term capital gains, which is, significantly higher than what probably most people pay, or what most people, where their tax bracket is on their 1040. So the incentive to, invest in cryptocurrencies could be significantly hampered, if you will, if this actually goes through. I think most people believe one of two things: either it just won't happen at all, which would be the best, obviously, or that it will, that there'll be a compromise. So instead of 40 40% or 38.9, whatever Biden's proposing, that it might be somewhere, let's say, in the 25%, 30%. Neither one of those are popular to anyone investing in cryptocurrencies, but that would certainly be better than, in the 40s. But we will have to wait and see. We've talked about this already, but the stock market over the weekend certainly had, or late last week, I should say, reacted, very negatively to the news, or to the rumor, maybe is what we should say. So did the cryptocurrency market, but the stock market has, for the most part, recovered. Cryptocurrencies as a whole are still kind of floundering, still have not gotten to their highs again. So both Ethereum and Bitcoin last week hit all-time new highs. I think Bitcoin was 62,000 and change. Ethereum was, I believe, 2,600 or almost 2,600. And they're both down, obviously, from their 52-week. But this article says China makes a significant shift in its tone to cryptocurrency. I don't know how many had heard, but China was also there for a period of time very negative on cryptocurrencies, and suggesting that they were going to regulate them or outlaw them, that type of thing. But it sounds like now that they are singing a new tune, as you say. So let's see what it says. Oh, I have to, here we go. This is this came from the BOA Forum. I don't know if I'm saying that right, for Asia. Vice Chairman, and I'm not even going to try to say his last name, Zhao, said digital currency should serve the real economy. At the forum's annual meeting, one of the most influential forum summits in the world today, a number of heavyweight guests from home and abroad delivered speeches and held discussions on hot topics. And so the vice chairman of the National Committee for the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, and former governor of the People's Bank of China said that regardless of digital currency or digital assets, they all have to serve the real world. We have experienced the global financial crisis in 2008 and found that finance is detached from the real, such as the shadow banking and derivatives, which have become purely speculative transactions between financial institutions, and there is no longer a connection with the real. Under this situation, it is easy to go wrong. Bottom line is, China, I think, generally speaking, has, again, kind of turned a corner and not as negative as they had been on cryptocurrencies. So if we look at Dogecoin here, drilling down in on it, it's currently at 26. If we look at the historical data, and this will tell us, and this is the real, what really is important as far as I'm concerned. So if you're not selling today, if you weren't looking to sell, for example, then it was at 26 most of the day, hit 27 some, and I'll pull it up here in a minute to see where it's at right now. But and it hit a high of 28. But here's the real thing: had you had a limit buy, if you're wanting to get in more, this might have been a time to buy in more, because here on the 23rd, it was as low as 16, but I don't know if we're ever going to get there again. You guys let me know if you think we're ever going to go below 20 again. And if we're not, if you don't believe we're going below 20 and you're looking to buy more, then, what's your price? When are you going to buy back in? As far as price-wise, obviously you can't know the date that you're going to buy back in, because we don't know when or if it's going to hit there again. But calm before the storm, and I just spot. Hey, wow, way to go, CK. That's awesome. I'm not. I don't have that much yet, but I'm going to be definitely allocating a certain percentage of my, funds, if you will, that I'm investing for VET for sure. What do you think? Yeah, 80%. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's I just can't even imagine that that's even possible. It worries me, honestly, that someone would even say that or suggest that they think that that's actually a good thing. I don't know why they would even honestly want to do that. I mean, surely they know that it seems, or at least it would seem to me, that that would just completely devastate and, almost drive the cryptocurrency market into a tailspin that, might take forever to recover. Now, the one thought about that, and this would be the one possible savior, I guess, if you will, to the market, for those that are mostly long and hold, buy and hold, and, buy more in the dip and all that kind of thing, one approach is to just wait it out, right? In other words, as long as they're not going to do like what Clinton did, which is to make it retroactive and take your money, even if you had not, or if you sold it before it passed, they were still taking it, or if they don't, it's not only that they want as much as 80%, they also want to take it ahead of time, right? So in other words, if at the end of the year, I guess is the way it would work, at the end of the year, if you've actually made a profit, they want to take it, I think, at the end of the year and not wait until you actually sell it. But let's assume that that's not going to happen for a while. Even if it's 80% capital gains, I think I would still be invested in it and wait out the administration. I have no problem, honestly, of holding the cryptocurrencies, that I would be invested in for 4 years. I mean, maybe he gets reelected, Joe Biden, that is, for a second term. I honestly doubt that. I think I don't want to get too political on this stream, but I think he's already shown that I can't imagine him being reelected. That's just my thought with regards to the way he's handled a lot of things, and then to throw into that this suggestion, even if that's all it ever becomes, is a suggestion to tax crypto at 40, and then I guess it's the lady that's the Treasury Secretary saying that she wants to take 80%. That's just ludicrous. Yeah, CK, I think that's, we, here at least on this channel, again, I'm going to always say, until it completely, or if it ever just completely disappeared for some reason, Dogecoin that is, then obviously I guess I would stop talking about it and I wouldn't be invested in it anymore because we didn't have it. So it's, again, going to be one of our favorite things to talk about. But the reality is, I don't think a channel that's talking about cryptocurrencies or finances in general or investing in general is complete without at least talking about a few other coins. Now, again, I was talking about this last night. I don't see myself covering 20 different coins. I mean, if I do this long enough, maybe, right? I've really honestly just gotten started kind of diving into this and all of that. So like a lot of things, once you become more comfortable with it and all of that, then you can kind of at that point expand your horizons. But I think that's an excellent approach. Putting that money into VET, I think that will turn out very good for you. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know what's going to I've not seen any, I'll just say it this way. I've not seen any opposing views. And I'll just, for a moment, not picking sides, let's say, but we all know that, Biden's Democrat. Generally speaking, you would categorize that as liberal. Republicans, conservative. Again, there's a spectrum there. Yes, there's moderates on both sides of all of that. But let's just for a moment, for conversation, use that way of describing it. I've not seen, and it's probably there, but I haven't seen many quote unquote conservatives, that are actually in the House or in the Senate say anything about this proposal, about how bad it would be and all of that. Now, they may have, and I've not necessarily spent hours looking for it, but now that I'm talking about it, I probably will need to find some opposing views. Now, in the in the investment community, sure, there are people talking about how it would be actually, really, really bad for it. It's for those that are, or the proposal would impact those that are $1 million earners. And we talked about this last night, but it's just, I don't see anything good coming from it. I really don't. Going to pull up the chart just for a little while, and again, I will apologize. I have learned how to zoom in on the chart a little bit, at least for the candlestick type stuff. But what I've not figured out how to do is I can't make the text any bigger, so it's kind of difficult to do that. But I've got the if I look at the 30-minute chart here, or maybe the 1 hour would be even better. We can see here that for 3 hours, and really almost 4, it was, for the most part, except for a lower low, the middle range of this was 27. It did go down to 26, and then you got another several hours, again, where it's 26 mostly, a low of 24, and then, as we talked about, we talked about this yesterday, a similar pattern, at least, and it's a pattern, yes, but it's not a pattern that has happened by natural forces, as far as I'm concerned. It's probably the whales again, but look at this. I mean, generally speaking, just a straight line with minor variations in the open, high, and close for that particular, 1 hour cycle. So, like I said last night, I'm ready to see some more dynamic action, if you will, with Dogecoin price. But at the same time, it's another reason, honestly, to yes, pick your favorite, but another reason to be researching and investing in other cryptocurrencies. You obviously always want to be making money, but I also think it spices things up a little bit, and hopefully, obviously brings you diversification, and hopefully you're making more money one way or another. When one's down, hopefully another one's up. So I highly encourage, anyone watching this, that you look into some alternatives, or I should say additions to. I'm going to assume that if you're watching this, you probably searched or you're subscribed, and you subscribed because you knew that we, routinely talk about Dogecoin. But again, we will most definitely be talking about others that we get to the point where we're liking for one reason or another. Yes, CK, I think you're right. So the big guys will they'll either get out or they'll divert more of their money. They probably wouldn't get out completely. At 80% they might, I don't know. But let's assume the 40% for a moment. They probably wouldn't abandon it. But, they, again, with more money, with more volume, it will hurt them less. The little guy, But the little guy, at least the little guy in this sense, would still be a millionaire, right? So maybe it's not quite, it's still little compared to a billionaire. Don't get me wrong. And if you make as a millionaire, if you had a 500,000, 250,000, even a $50,000 gain, and you're wanting to get out, to have to give almost half of that to the government, obviously would stink big time. So, not good at all. It's funny. I always have, and it's awesome that I do. I go live on Twitter and DLive as well, just because they're alternative platforms and because I can and, want to obviously reach as wide an audience as possible. So I do have one, at least the StreamYard here is indicating that I have, one person watching on Twitch. So I want to welcome you, whoever you are. Would also encourage you to come on over to YouTube. I know that your diehard Twitch user may be like, I don't want to go anywhere else, and that's perfectly fine. So, stay right there if you want. But if you come over to YouTube and subscribe and turn on the notification, that would be awesome as well. It's it's not actually in the description. What I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to type in the link. Thing I don't like about StreamYard, honestly, the one thing I don't like about StreamYard, which is my streaming service, is when I put in the title and description for the live stream, the description doesn't come over on Twitch, and I don't know why, but it doesn't. So what I'm putting in the comments here is my YouTube channel, the link. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, you already know it. But if you're on Twitch or DLive, even for that matter, let me know by coming on over and subscribing here. So that's the link. That'll bring you basically to where you can, if you use that link from a desktop, you'll have the prompt to go ahead and subscribe right then and there. But whether you're live or watching the replay, I'd be curious. Love for you to interact with me a little bit here and give me your thoughts on where you think Dogecoin is going to go this next week coming up. Do you think it will get up to 30? Do you think it will pass 30? I'm obviously, knowing that the whales are doing some things, I'm not even, and you may not want to either, I'm not even going to give a prediction at this point in time. I think, as I've mentioned before, given the whales' activities, or what looks to be like their activity, and until I'm corrected somehow or another, I'll assume that what I've found and what some others have found does indeed represent whales' activity with regards to Dogecoin, until they stop buying and selling literally minutes apart, and buying and selling literally at the same price, that when you go and look at the price on an exchange at that same exact time, it's the same price, maybe a fraction of a penny off, but for the most part the same price that's on the exchange as well, then there's some manipulation going on. And like I've said before, it could be for our ultimate good, or it could not be. So CK, you think it's going to get past 50 this week? That's very optimistic. I'd be curious, obviously, to know what catalysts do you think are in the works, or what are you expecting to happen to drive it to 50 as a meme coin? I don't say that to say that it's not a serious coin. Again, we know people or merchants, are coming along seemingly every week saying, hey, we'll take Dogecoin now. I think that's through BitPay mostly, that type of thing. But, let's assume that the whales stop buying and selling in a sense in what seems like a coordinated fashion or programmatic fashion, and the general community out there can have more impact on the buying and selling of it. What do you think's going to happen to bring it up to 50? That'd be awesome. Don't get me wrong. 50 cents, that is. That'd be great. But I'm just trying to think of, obviously, if Elon Musk tweeted again, it probably would. There are some that are saying that they think that Elon, the question is, I think it's next week. Well, it's not until the 8th, I guess. So it would take a whole week for it to happen. But I think Elon Musk is going to be on Saturday Night Live, and people are like, will he say anything about Dogecoin? I don't think he will, but who knows what he'll do. So yeah, I don't know what it would take to get it to 50, but that would be awesome. That would be a new all-time high. It would be delayed gratification, if you will. Obviously, a lot of people were hoping that would happen on 420, and it didn't. But nonetheless, better late than never, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just, if for no other reason, just because we're waiting on some other folks to join, let's see what's trending, if you will, on Twitter for our Dogecoin tag. See what we got here. Webull has just accepted Dogecoin. That's a little old, but yes, I mean they've been accepting it for a while now. I've yet to buy anything on Webull, but I did get an account on Voyager, and I know one of our friends last night said that I think we're still waiting on their Voyager account, and I don't know what's going on with theirs, because I did not, I literally was able to set it up within minutes, transfer money within minutes. It was given, and I don't know if that's their standard or I don't know what, but I got $5,000 in buying power. In other words, if I did a transfer, ACH or whatever, then up to $5,000 of that I would have gotten immediately. That I didn't put that much in yet, but that's where I got my VeChain on Voyager. And so I've heard some mixed reviews of Voyager, but I looked at it yesterday and got signed up yesterday, bought the VeChain today, but there's a lot of things that I like about what I see, and I gotta say, one of our friends on the channel here was kind of the inspiration for me to check it out more, because of them paying 9% on USDC, right? Which USDC is I think the right term is a stable coin. It basically is pegged against the US dollar. It's backed by a bank of some sort, from what I understand, whatever that means. And then you can use that to then buy other coins on the exchange. Qcoin uses a similar example, I believe. There is another one called USDT, which I think is Tether. I didn't understand that until literally yesterday. Had an aha moment about that as well. That seems to be prevalent on Qcoin. But anyway, the amazing thing about Voyager, let me see if I can actually pull it up. I know I could on my phone, but I don't have my phone hooked up to my live stream right now, although I could. Let me see if this is actually it. What I wanted to show you was the fact that you can get, and I'm probably not going to be able to show you with this, which is kind of a shame. well, hold here just a second because I'm going to try to look at one other thing. Voyager USDC interest. Maybe it will show me here. Okay, here we go. I think this is it. How to earn 9% interest APR on your dollars and beat your bank. Most definitely beat your bank. Yeah. Are you tired of banks' low interest rate? This is not an ad, by the way, for Voyager. I mean, again, maybe it's an ad in one sense, but I'm using it now. So, and I like what I've seen, and I'm only a day in, but this is kind of the way I roll. You know, if it's something I'm using, then I'm going to be like, hey, come along with me for the ride. It may turn out there's some things that I don't like about it, and I will certainly mention those, just like I've talked about some of the things that I don't like about Webull that I like about Robinhood better, and vice versa. So I'm not sponsored by anyone, and so I can say what I feel. But if Voyager is the #1 crypto broker, okay, I don't know about that. Maybe it is. No cost to swap on Voyager app. There's no cost to swap your USD for USDC, which is pretty cool, right? So you could put $500 in there, convert that to USDC, and then as long as you have not opted out, and as long as you have on average 100 USDC, which is basically $100 or more, then you're going to earn 9% interest, which is crazy. And by the way, I'm going to get back to the comments here in just a minute. Can't see them right now, but I will get back to them. Get the Voyager app, which I did. The one thing about Voyager that some people don't like is there's not a web-based version of it. You have to transact on your phone. So a little interesting. So of course, you download the app, create a Voyager account, and by the way, if you want to experiment with it, I do have a link in the description. But like most of these, it's strammel.info/Voyager. Go check it out. I don't even know what I get. I think I get $25. So if you signed up for Voyager, you would also get that same kind of deal if you wanted to refer others. You may get something as well. I don't know, honestly. You may get a discount or something. There's no free stock or any of that kind of stuff. They're not doing that. But here's the reason that I went with Voyager, as I mentioned earlier. And if I can pull it up, I will. They had all the other cryptos that I'm, for the most part, interested in right now beyond Dogecoin. And they have Dogecoin on there. So they have Doge. They have Cardano, which is ADA. They have VeChain, VET. They have, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum. The only one that they don't have right now that I don't think they have. I'm pretty sure I looked last night and they don't have. I believe they're not currently allowing you to buy and sell XRP or Ripple. That is another one that I want to get in my portfolio at some time in the near future. So swap your USD for USDC. Earn interest. So you can earn 9% interest APR by holding a minimum monthly balance of 100 USDC. That's just crazy. Unfortunately, it excludes New York State. It says they're actively working with regulators to expand into New York. Hopefully that does happen soon for those that are in New York. But I'm liking what I see. Who in their right mind, right? If you trust Voyager. I guess the one thing is it may not be quote unquote FDIC insured, so that might be one hesitation. But who knowing this would keep their money, for example, in a lot of money in a checking account? Obviously, you might want to keep enough money in a checking account to pay your bills out of, so forth and so on. But who wouldn't want to earn interest? And this is, I think, a little bit different. You don't have to quote unquote stake your I mean, I guess it's similar to staking, but you basically, on my account, it was automatically turned on. So if I had USDC in there and I had $100 or more minimum for the month, I would automatically earn interest. You can turn it off if you don't want to earn interest, but it's, on mine at least, it was turned on automatically. I am going to also put in here Voyager crypto stock. I want to see if I can find a thing where it'll give me a list of the ones that they have. If they don't, then I guess I'll do it later. But maybe this overview will tell me. Probably won't, of course not. But anyway, they've got a lot of good, here we go, supported coins. I hope this is something you guys are a little bit interested in. And again, if you're watching the replay, I think this has some evergreen value to it. People are obviously interested in the different exchanges, the different apps, all of that. What I don't know yet is anything about a wallet, that type of thing. I need to look into that. But at this point in time, I'm not invested enough in it all that that's a burning need of mine. But here's Cardano. Some of these I won't know, but Bitcoin, BCH, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, I've heard some good things about in some cases. Doge, of course, DOT, I've heard some that think that that's a good one to look into. Ethereum, of course, right here. Filecoin is interesting from what I've heard. Chainlink, I've also heard some good things about that as a good one to look into. What are some others here that there's the USDC, and here's USDT. Here's VET. And yeah, what you don't see here is XRP. So maybe again, when all the dust is settled with the SEC, I don't think it's been finalized yet. I think most everyone believes that XRP or Ripple is going to emerge from their dealings with the SEC. Basically where it'll just continue the way things are. And then I would hope that Coinbase and Voyager in this case, and it would be great if Webull would relist them. So there were several exchanges that had XRP on there, and then they delisted them when this whole thing with the SEC started. So, all right, back to the comments, and all right. So let's see what else we can cover here real quick. Let's go back to Twitter, see what's going on here on Twitter. Hope you like Dogecoin, Miley Cyrus. I doubt it, honestly. Who knows? But this is pretty interesting if this is true. 10 years ago, from the Dogecoin founders, 10 commandments. Be kind and generous. Don't ever stop making funny pictures. Never worry about the price. Instead of demanding others to make change, take ownership. Don't panic or cause panic. Be safe with your wallets and equipment. It is more fun to trade Dogecoin than to hoard it. That's kind of an interesting thing, right? A lot of hoarders. I mean, the whales, right? Got a ton of it. But, that one I'll say, whatever, you do what you want to with your coin, but nonetheless, be respectful of other alt currencies for sure. I mean, Dogecoin is not the only one out there, as we've already said. You want to diversify, if nothing else. Recognize that cryptocurrency investment is similar to gambling. and never invest more than you can afford to lose. I completely agree with that for the most part. I think it depends on which currency you're investing in, whether it's as much like gambling or not, but it is still volatile. So volatility, I don't associate volatility with gambling, but I do acknowledge that there's volatility, right? Like Bitcoin and Ethereum losing, Bitcoin losing over $10,000 per coin. The whole cryptocurrency market losing 200 billion in market cap. So you got to be ready to weather the storm, if you will. Those diamond hands, as they say. You, the community, are the most important piece of Dogecoin. So this is pretty interesting. Apparently this was 7 years ago. Really interesting. When was this actually done? Yep, 7 years ago. So I have to retweet that because that's pretty cool. And obviously we need to show it some love. So by the way, as far as showing love, if you guys want to do me a huge favor, smash the like button. YouTube likes that. I think honestly, although I think they do look into they do consider the like button some, engagement comments are actually, I think, a much better indication of engagement. And we've had some really good engagement. So I want to say, definitely appreciate you guys making it interesting, making it entertaining, sharing all of your thoughts, ideas. I have honestly been challenged and also learned a good amount of things and gained value from a lot of the comments, a lot of the chat. It's been really, really good. So I got to say thank you. I love some of these questions, right? If you hold 1,000 or more Dogecoin, oh, okay, I thought this was going to be a question, but if you hold 1,000 or more Dogecoin, hit the like button. Thankfully, I do. So I'm going to retweet it as well. Okay, if you think Dogecoin is the future, retweet this. I think it is a part of the future. So let's add a little bit to this. Definitely a part of the future. Maybe a very good alternative to the dollar for buying goods and services. What do you guys think about the music? I hope you like it. I like having it in the background. When I'm kind of quiet for a minute, it hopefully keeps things a little more interesting. Do you own more than 500? Okay, I've already done one of those. So let's keep Dogecoin trending. Retweet this post and comment Dogecoin. Show your support. Okay, why not? We will retweet. And we'll put the comment in. Why not, right? Definitely need to get a little more active on Twitter. It's honestly really hard to keep up with it all. But let's see. A restaurant in Long Beach is now accepting Dogecoin. See, it's this kind of thing that if it's real, and I'm going to assume that it is, but it's this kind of thing that is going to help, obviously. So I'm going to retweet this and say, I want to talk with the RESTARAU restaurant, and I'm not good at spelling sometimes. I want to talk with the restaurant owner. Do you know the name of it? I do want to talk to them, actually. This week, or Monday, if I can remember, I need to actually take a note of it. I want to actually contact the dentist that I saw on Twitter that said that they were taking Dogecoin now for dental work. I want to actually maybe even have them on the show, do a little small interview, 10 minutes or less or something along those lines, and just ask them, why are you doing that? You know, I think it's a pretty cool story. All right, let's kind of return, see how we're doing comment-wise. So we're hey, Raptor Printer Long Beach, yeah, that's local. I should check it out. You should. Hey, and if you happen to find out, like you just saw, maybe you saw on the, I just sent out a tweet and said, hey, let me know if you know what the restaurant is. Be interesting. All right, let's look at a little bit more here on what else is trending. Should Twitter give Dogecoin its own emoji? Sure, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yes, they should. What do you guys think about? And of course, this was the title of this video, so we should talk about it. As far as holding and buying on the dip, and of course I showed Elon Musk and his tweet. A lot of people are speculating on if he was on whether he was talking about a particular cryptocurrency or not. It's hard to know. He's obviously been very very obvious at times and less obvious at times about Dogecoin. So, I mean, he does, his company at least is invested into Bitcoin as well. So with Bitcoin having such a really bad time right now, he could have been talking about that, or both of them. That's a really funny one, right? Who else checks Dogecoin when they first wake up? I'll be honest, I do check it, but I check it hoping, yes I do, hoping that the whales have stopped trading for a while. So we can know what the true price should look like. Let's see what people think about that. This is an interesting one. I wonder if this is this is really interesting. Maybe I should call the auto body repair company. Or no, here's the actual number here. But I can't read it all. 7871983. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to retweet that. And again, maybe try to call them. Do they accept Doge? All right, well, let's get back to the comments if we have any to talk through, and then we're also going to look at a few other things. So I'd accept payment in Bitcoin. Yeah, Mr. Muck. Yes, I would as well. And I guess if you have a in a sense, I guess if you have a wallet, you could, I guess, receive Bitcoin from anyone else that has it. But yeah, I would definitely receive payment in Bitcoin. I've mentioned, and welcome, by the way, Raptor Printer, but I have mentioned in previous episodes or live streams that, that some of these merchants are, accepting Dogecoin, of course, and Bitcoin, and BitPay as a company is facilitating a lot of these. And some of the merchants are keeping the coin, and some are just taking US dollars. So BitPay will, take the cryptocurrency from the buyer and then just turn that into US dollars for the merchant if the merchant wants to do that, or they could do something with like Coinbase. And Coinbase will basically act as a custodian for the coin, and then these merchants can have that on their balance sheet. So, not a bad idea. Excuse me, this is live, so if you're watching this on the replay, maybe I'd get a pass. I just yawned. It's been a long day. I apologize. This is an interesting one. I don't think Mark Cuban gets enough credit for what he has done for Dogecoin. I mean, that I'm curious. Let's talk about that for a minute. What has he really done, right? He's certainly commented that they accept it now, that the Mavericks accept it. He has tweeted that they've, to date, as far as they know, that they've processed, I guess, the most Dogecoin of any other merchant. So sure, he's helped some, but I don't think he's been super active. Let's look at his. I wish that Twitter would add a search kind of thing. One interesting thing about Mark Cuban is he now has basically a virtual or a digital gallery, if you will, where he shows all of the NFTs that he has bought. He's a collector now, I guess, of NFTs, and some of them I believe are for sale, and others are, just there to be seen. Another interesting thing, number 77 here. We showed a tweet last night where a Dogecoin holder, an enthusiast, they said they were a Warriors fan, not Mavericks fan, but they wanted to basically have the experience of buying something with Dogecoin, so they bought a number 77 jersey. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm just looking to see here real quick if Cuban has said anything here in the last couple of days about Dogecoin. I'm pretty sure we would have heard about it, and I don't think he has lately anyway. So I do not necessarily follow him all that much, honestly. So I'm going to guess he hasn't done a whole lot lately. Here we go. So many great NFT galleries on lazy.com. Your NFT collection is a window into your personality. Let's go there for a minute and see if I think actually Mark Cuban has owns Lazy, or in other words, it's his creation. So it doesn't look like you can see stuff without signing up, which I personally don't like. But connect your wallets, add your unique lazy.com URL to your Instagram. Anyway, I'm going to have to come back and look at this, though. I'm interested, honestly, in possibly experimenting with creating some NFTs just to have gone through the experience, that type of thing. So I'm going to come back to that another time. But let's get back to Twitter here. We'll be done with Mark Cuban for now. Just look at couple more here. Here's a billboard. Sometimes you don't know, obviously, is that real or is that something that someone did? I just realized I'm not showing Twitter here, so I apologize for that. But here was the, so I don't remember if I showed it. Here was the, the restaurant that is apparently accepting Dogecoin. So it was posted on the Reddit Dogecoin. So there's probably more information there with regards to the restaurant that it was. So, all right. Hey, we've got some new people joining. So sorry I wasn't able to see the comments while I was working through some stuff. But Noah, how's it going, my friend? What do you think will happen if Elon mentioned Doge and Saturday night? I think it'll be awesome. I think. So the follow-on question is, do you think that he will? I don't know. I'll say 50-50 chance that he will. I mean, depending on how much creative input the special guest gets to have, because normally the special guest is in a skit, I guess, of some sort. Be interesting if he does mention it. I'm sure it will spike some, I guess. So the bigger question is exactly what. So let's just throw it out there. I'm gonna say, just gonna go out on a limb because there's no way of really knowing. I'll just say that if Elon says anything about Dogecoin on Saturday Night Live, it'll go to 40 cents. So I'm curious what you guys think. Yeah, I get it. I mean, you're probably right. And I don't think that, I have no way of knowing if the Mavericks are holding the Dogecoin on their balance sheet. I think they would definitely probably hold the Bitcoin and the Ethereum on their balance sheet if someone wanted to pay them with that, but I could be wrong on that as well. Raptor saying it will pump. Yeah, I agree. It will. I guess the question is, how high up will it go? I'm interested in learning NFT creation too. Yeah, I think it's an amazing, amazing technology. Very, I think it could be very, obviously very beneficial to artists, creators of a number of kinds of creators, but artists, musicians, and then it has a lot of real world business applications as well. Selling limited edition, let's say, books where you get a physical book and then you get a digital version. And if you're if you get in on the platinum, if you get the platinum edition, you get to get in on a monthly call for 15 minutes with the author. The sky's the limit with regards to the things, the creative capability. And so I would also suggest that you look up Gary V. If you don't know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, you probably do, but he's very positive on NFTs as well. Hey, Rat Rex, I would like to accept Doge for my online biz. Just don't know. I can tell you how, I think, and there may be other ways, but look up BitPay, BITPAY. So just Google BitPay and then call them. I'm sure there's contact information. I don't know I don't know if you have to be a certain size of company. I mean, another way, I guess, that you could probably do it is if you had a wallet set up, and the other person that was wanting to pay you had a wallet, they could just do a transfer like that, but that's probably not as efficient or as quick, although that would probably work. But I would say look into BitPay, and there are probably others. So I would also Google, and this is something I should probably look into and add it to one of my live streams. Google Dogecoin, payment processor or something along those lines. And by the way, thanks for joining. I think you've joined a live stream in the past. I'm trying to remember everyone. Thankfully, and I'd like to have the other problem at some point. I mean, at this point in time, the channel's small enough that I'm able to recognize most of the folks joining. It would be a nice problem to have, to not, for the comments to be scrolling by so fast that I can't recognize everyone and all of that. But I do want to say thanks for joining. I hope that you'll subscribe if you haven't, and turn on that notification button would be awesome. Hey, Manny, welcome tonight, my friend. Thanks for joining. I hope you're having a good day. Yeah, it is Monday. It's crazy. I started on Sunday though. I did get started, but yeah. Hey, no problem, Rat Rex, on that. Hey, Sean. Hey, did you have that test? Maybe I hope you made 100. Do you recognize me? Hey, sure, Manny. I think you sent me the email, right? Weren't you the one that said, "Hey, check out the email I sent you"? I think that was you, and I read it. It was long, my friend, really long. And appreciate it, by the way. Some nice comments in there. It's very much appreciated. Hey, thanks, Rat Rex. One of the other things I'm going to do here real quick is I'm also going to bring up this overlay for a little bit. If any of you have not followed me on Twitter yet, that would mean the world to me as well. So up in the top right up there, you can see how my Twitter handle is spelled. My last name can be a little tricky sometimes. It's Trammel. But if you also go into the description of the live stream here, there's a link where you can connect with me on social media. But hopefully you'll hang out with us here for a little longer. Don't forget us when you become, I'm not looking to get famous, but I think I can handle it. I'm halfway joking, but my goal would be to never forget anybody. Hey, it's the early adopters that should be the ones that are never forgotten, right? I mean, there are a lot of you guys and gals are obviously the regulars, and so no, I don't plan on forgetting you, my friend. Downtown Long Beach, California. That's pretty cool. If you're, you'll have to go check it out. And I'm halfway kidding, but I'm not. If you're ever by there, you need to tell them to come join me or come follow me on Twitter if they have a Twitter account, and send me a direct message and tell them that I'd like to have them on the live stream, and they can promote their restaurant and tell their story about why they're accepting Dogecoin. It'd be great. It'd be good for the show here, and I hope that it would be good for them as well. So that's pretty cool. Oh, okay. So you already knew that it was postponed. Is it a final? I'm assuming you're in college, but so yeah, I'm gonna have to look up that restaurant as well. By the way, for those of you that are joining a little bit later, some of the things we've already covered. I did, one of our friends last night, and again, I can't remember who said everything. I can normally remember who was on, and that they were obviously, a part of, quote unquote, the conversation. But it was brought up last night. Someone was mentioning, using the Voyager app and, being able to get interest on some of their coins and all of that. And so I got a Voyager account, and I didn't buy any Doge there, although you can, because I'm still, I really don't want to necessarily have Dogecoin in 4 or 5 different places. I mean, I may eventually, but I bought some VET or VeChain. I won't rehash all of that, but I think that I will probably be sharing my experience with Voyager a little bit more. It seems to be appropriate to talk about that some on a live stream that's talking about Dogecoin, since they allow you to buy and sell it there, and since obviously we talk more broadly about the cryptocurrency space ecosystem, whatever you want to call it. So far so good with regards to my impression of Voyager. The only thing I would say right now that I don't like about it, although it's not a showstopper, is there's not a web interface, so you have to use your phone. I'm sure that they wanted to get out of the gate with something, and maybe that was their best way, quickest way to get something on the market. And I think the reality is I'm maybe a dinosaur in some sense. I like to have the option of both an app and the computer, but I'm still one that likes to sit down in front of a laptop screen, have more real estate, all those kind of things. So I would like to have a web-based interface as well, but I got some VeChain. VET is the symbol for anyone that maybe doesn't know that. Check it out some. I will be talking about it more. It's one of those things where I've researched it enough that I'm comfortable getting my feet wet with it. I want to do a little bit more research and have some time invested in the coin before I start covering it at any length on these live streams. But I'm almost certain this won't be the last that you hear of VeChain, but Dogecoin, as I said earlier, is still very near and dear to my heart, and I'm still invested in it, and want to ride the thing all the way to the moon and beyond. So nothing's changed there, but I want to make sure that my portfolio is diversified. Oh, so Sean, wow, medical school. That's cool, man. And you're, I guess, then preparing to or have already joined the service. So that's pretty cool. I'll say it now if I'm understanding it right. Thanks for your service. That's awesome. That's amazing. Oh, so did I miss it? Was it last night? Was Elon's appearance last night? So I guess I missed it. If he was, did he say anything? Because someone was asking, well, what do you think would happen? What do you think will happen when Elon? Because I thought it was May 3rd or something like that. But anyway, May 3rd isn't a Saturday, or May 8th. So I don't know. But I guess he was already on. I'm just gonna while I'm talking to you guys, search it real quick. Elon Musk SNL. So funny. I'm gonna actually show this on the screen for a minute. I'm literally finding it just now, so I don't know what it's going to say, but you can read it with me, and you can see the headline. It says Elon Musk doesn't deserve to host SNL. Interesting. CNN. I'm sure they're going to actually have something bad to say. Let's see. So let's read this note about the editor because it might give us some insight to why he feels that way. It says Dean, I'm not going to try to say his last name, a former attorney is the host of SiriusXM Radio's daily program, The Dean Show, and a columnist. Oh, okay. Columnist for the Daily Beast. That's actually kind of interesting. Anyway, the opinions. Okay, so let's see what he says. Saturday Night Live has invited to host. Yeah, it's the 8th, so he hasn't been on yet, right? So Elon Musk is going to be on the 8th. Show a billionaire who said the coronavirus pandemic is dumb. Promoted the potential benefits of chloroquine compared to deadly virus and another form of cold in 2020. Well, first thing I got to say, I don't want to get, again, too polarizing here, but I mean, Elon Musk is in many ways a genius, so probably smarter than this Dean guy. I'm just going to guess. I could be wrong. Elon Musk is, building along with a host of other super smart people, putting people on the International Space Station and going to be sending people to the moon, helping NASA with that. So I think Elon Musk probably doesn't just say stuff that he hasn't actually looked into. And by the way, just like the opposing view, he has the right to say what he wants to say about something, and he could be wrong, but nonetheless. So sorry. So predicted. And in March 2020, predicted to his millions of Twitter followers that there would be a close to 0 new cases by the end of April, the month he demanded an end to the pandemic closures. Well, he left California, I think mostly because of that, and now he's in Texas. So right, wrong, or indifferent, I think for the most part, and one of the things I like about him, he is a man of his word for the most part, it would seem, and so I can respect that about someone. No, it's not. No, it's not disgrace former President Trump. Producers have tapped Elon Musk. I'm not going to probably go through all of this. I just noticed it, but I want to try to get to the premise. While with the longest running late night comedy show, currently 46th season, asked Musk to host an episode. Presumably it's because the show wants to remain relevant. Anyway, this person's obviously not a fan of Elon Musk, but the main thing I was trying to find was when, and so from what I can tell, he's actually going on May 8th, so it was my understanding also. Yep, Sean, no problem. One of the comments we actually had was what do we think's going to happen if Elon Musk says anything about Dogecoin? So you may want to get in on that action. I'm going to, just throw out a number because I honestly have no idea, and it honestly might also depend on what kind of activity the whales have going on. But I'm going to say, unless it's already there, in other words, what I'm about to say, unless it's already at the price that I'm about to say, if it's anything, I'm going to say if it's anything under 30 cents when he goes on and he says something about Dogecoin, then I'm going to guess that it'll get up to at least 40. That's just my guess. We'll see. What do you guys think? Let me know. I'm also curious what you guys think. I mean, it would seem to me that there's still quite a bit of activity, about a positive energy behind Dogecoin, but I'm curious, do you guys think it has died down some, died down a lot, stayed pretty much like it has been? What's your sentiment about about how it's going with regards to the community out there pushing it? All right, let's get back to the comments here. One of the things that I want to do then real quick is let's take a small break from Dogecoin, and I'm going to pull up the charts here and talk about a couple of the stocks that I like, and I've not actually looked at, it wouldn't do any good to look at, so because obviously the stock market for the most part is closed on the weekend. So last night I talked about NEO, so I won't talk about it again tonight. You can go watch that live stream. Matter of fact, if you didn't join us last night, or if you're watching the replay of this, or you're live here, didn't get to join us last night, it'd be awesome. Go watch last night's episode. But NEO is a electronic vehicle company based out of China. And again, I kind of started following or covering them when they were at about $36, and the 52-week high is basically $67. And I bought in at about 37, and it's at 41 now. I don't have thousands of shares, but nonetheless, it feels kind of good to be in it now, knowing that it looks like it's on a kind of on its way up. Obviously here, actually I'm going to go to the 1 day chart. So generally speaking, it's on its way up. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. So it's something, if you're also open to or actively investing in the stock market as well, NEO's something that I've obviously looked into and invested in. So you might want to also. Palantir is another one that I think is it's at half, roughly half of its 52-week high of 45. They have some capability that makes them, in some cases, the only option that the government has for certain contracts. They're working on getting certain clearances that very, very few companies have. In some cases, no one else has. So they are, doing all the things to be the go-to company for a lot of IT type stuff for defense. They're right in the middle of the pandemic things in some ways. Here's a not so good thing potentially. So I want you to know, in full disclosure, for those that are that might want to know all this, this is not something they have yet, I don't believe. Well, they may have the technology to do it, but it's not. But the government hasn't said, yeah, we want to do it. They apparently either have an idea for, or have maybe the software to do it, or a prototype to help regulate Bitcoin in some way. So actually, let me go to, I'm going to say Palantar, Palantir, it's Palantir, but it's pronounced Palantir, and Bitcoin. I want to see if there's anything. I'm going to read this because I think this is interesting. I just found it, and I'm also going to mark this because I want to come back and read this more thoroughly. So I'm literally finding this in real time. But Palantir's Joe Lunsdale, which I think he's the CEO, responds to PayPal's Peter Thiel's comments on Bitcoin. So I can tell you that PayPal is definitely, for Bitcoin. You can actually use that on their platform now, and Ethereum and a couple others. Dogecoin, not yet. That's another catalyst. I think if PayPal or Stripe or Venmo, which, Venmo is a subsidiary of PayPal, if they were to announce that you could use Dogecoin on those platforms, that would also, I think, be a very positive catalyst. So anyway, let's read through this. So it says Bitcoin is a force for freedom. I don't know what that really means. Let's read it through. Peter Thiel made headlines with comments he made at a virtual event for members. Thiel wondered if Bitcoin should be thought of as a Chinese financial weapon. That's really interesting. Against the U.S. at this point, adding that Bitcoin could be a threat to the U.S. dollar. Now, that's super interesting to me, and the reason that it's really interesting to me is that they, just announced with Venmo, and this is, dated the 8th. They just announced, probably only a few days past that Venmo, that you could use Bitcoin and Ethereum on Venmo. So I don't understand this, though. Even though, okay, here we go. Even though I'm a pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin maximalist person, I do wonder if at this point Bitcoin should also be thought of in part as a Chinese financial weapon against the U.S. And I assume what they mean by that is that, obviously the Chinese probably own some Bitcoin. I guess there's enough anonymity, especially if you're a foreign government, to That's another super interesting thing that I need to look into with regards to the ownership of Bitcoin by any government. We talked about this the other night with regards to the U.S. government being able to own Bitcoin. And as I thought it through, I'm like, that doesn't sound like a really good idea. I don't know if there's any regulation right now that says they can't, but it might be something that should be out there. But anyway, Thursday on CNBC's Squawk Box, Joe Longsdale, founder and partner of 8VC and co-founder of Palantir, was asked about the comments that Thal made. Let's see what he says. It is very interesting to see that China is the first mover in the crypto world in terms of their government working with Bitcoin, and they definitely could use that in ways that are antagonist. So I would say, generally speaking, I agree with that. I thought that this article was going to be about potentially what Palantir was going to do with some software to kind of possibly regulate Bitcoin. And I guess if you don't mind, we'll read through a little bit longer and see if that's what this is. If not, we'll look at another one. Longsdale said he is very pro-Bitcoin as well, basically, and that it is a force for freedom in the future. You're going to want currency to work on the blockchain. Longsdale followed by saying it makes sense for the U.S. to have its own cryptocurrency, and if the government doesn't take any action, the U.S. dollar could become irrelevant in 20 or 30 years. If they keep printing it, right, like they have been, it's just crazy. Okay, well, that wasn't the article that I was hoping for. I am going to look at possibly one more and see if I can find something. Okay, here we go. This is definitely one of them. Chairman Thal hints that Palantir could reign. Oh, I'm not going to be able to read this article. Doggone it. Yeah, rein in Bitcoin. So anyway, the title is enough. They have pushed the idea that they could use some of their software to, in essence, regulate it. So in one sense, they're pro Bitcoin, but then yet they want, to potentially get a contract with the government to regulate it in some way. So I don't know how that works. Yeah, that's true. Raptor printer. Yep, for sure. Do check out Matic too. It's doing well. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I really don't get the ETH is so highly valued. The gas fee is ridiculous. Yep. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of people start talking about BNB, and I've seen HBAR as well. I need to look into that one too. I'm slowly bringing into my my brain, if you will, some of these other altcoins, and wanting to even try to understand Bitcoin more. I'm tempted to buy some fractional, but I already missed one good opportunity when it was down, I think, to 49. So I think that's as low as it went. Did it go to 46 maybe? But anyway, yeah, I missed that opportunity. And I guess for everyone else, hopefully that opportunity won't present itself again. But, I would definitely be in it for the long haul if I bought some. So, I had intended for this live stream to be, shorter than most of them are. We've literally been going live for 2.5 hours 3 hours. We had one that was 5.5 hours the other night, which is crazy. But sorry, let me go back to your other one. Invest in HBAR. It's the third generation crypto after an Ethereum. Yep. Plus it has signed a lot of good contracts. Don't miss out. Okay. Definitely going to look at it, my friend. I guess that means that you have some. HBAR. Let's pull it up on Webull. Not that Webull has it, but I think I saw it on... well, let's just pull up... I'm just going to do it this way. Is that the letters HBAR? Okay, well, let's do it this way. H bar. Here we go. Okay, 28 cents, right? This is it. Definitely going to have to look into this some more. I've seen it listed before and, just didn't know what it really was. Let's see where it's at on the list of market cap. There it is right there. So 2 billion market cap, not bad. It's wow. Yeah, up 759. This can become a really dangerous thing, right? I'm halfway kidding. All of these, well, I just realized, sorry. Now I've got the screen here where you guys can see it. So I'm on Coin Market Cap. Here's Hedera. What I'm saying about this being dangerous, there's so many of these coins that are, have some potential. So here's the graph, right? So this is another one of those that, my goodness, had you got in, early, right? It's definitely, I think you definitely would consider this parabolic. So Dogecoin is obviously not the only one, right? That's seen some of these kinds of growth. Now, Dogecoin is still year to date 6,000 or so percent. And let's see if they tell us here what it is year to date. I don't actually see the percentage right here, but nonetheless, it looks like it's obviously done really, really well. So thanks for the tip. I'm actually going to save this as a bookmark and come back and do some more research on that. Also, Sean, I think this might have been before you joined, but I was talking about also getting into or getting a position on VeChain. Yep, anything that's under, anything that's like in the 30-cent range is something I'm interested in if it has a future, for sure. Hey, Amarjit, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Amarjit, thanks for joining. Hi. Let me know what's going on. Do you have Dogecoin? If this is your first time to join, I want to welcome you. It may not be the first, and I just don't remember. But I want to say, hey, thanks for joining. Would love to know how you found the channel. And if you haven't subscribed and turned on notifications, that would be a favor we'd ask of you. But so you're asking about $1 to buy. Oh, what to buy for $1? Are you saying that what is, at a cost of $1 per coin that you want to invest in, or do you have a dollar to invest? If you have $1 to invest, then you could buy. There's a number of cryptocurrencies, I guess, that are even sub pennies. I'm not focused on many of those. SafeMoon, I don't actually personally recommend, only because I'm not spending any time on it. There's been both there have been plenty of people out there that are hot on SafeMoon. There are others that are super negative on SafeMoon, but it is, I guess, pretty cheap. But yeah, let me know what you're really asking. BTT, are you talking about that's BitTorrent, I think, right? Yeah, I can't keep up with all these. Well, I can keep up with them, but there's only so much money to put out there, right? But maybe one approach is to put $100 in 5 or 6 of them and just walk away from them and see what happens, and then maybe 2 or 3 of those more actively invest in and stay on top of. I don't know the answer. I'm sure there are people that have 20 different coins, and I'm not even saying that's necessarily a bad approach. And who knows? Maybe in the next 6 months I'll have 20 coins. I don't know. Well, we are going to keep it going for another 20 minutes. It'll be a 2-hour stream at that point in time. So let's get all your thoughts and comments in the next 20 minutes. And if we don't get everything, obviously we're live streaming every night. And so yeah, let me know where you think Dogecoin's going to go this week. Realistically, of course, that's without being able to have a crystal ball and knowing what might happen. There's speculation that Jeff Bezos may announce that he's invested in Dogecoin, or there's actually a petition out there for Amazon to start taking Dogecoin, and all those things would be positive. I don't plan on using Dogecoin on Amazon, even if they announce it. At some point, obviously, if you were able to have some pretty good indication of where you thought Dogecoin was going to realistically end up in the next several years, and then compared that against some kind of inflation rate of the dollar, then you might be in a position where it made sense to use it for everyday purchases, because the dollar probably worth less at some point. But as long as I'm still making money, quote unquote, I'm probably going to be spending real dollars on everyday things and accumulating, and then holding my cryptocurrencies for their ability to appreciate in value for life-changing returns, as opposed to a little bit here and there. That's just my approach. It's not the only approach. It's not necessarily even the right approach. It just happens to be the one that I'm going for. So I'm going to look up BTT also on Webull, but it doesn't look like they have it. BitTO. Yeah, they don't have it on there either. which is kind of a bummer. But let's look up BNB. Oh, Binance. I'm sorry. Did you say BNB? Sorry. Yeah, Sean, what was the other one that you said to look at? Oh, you said, yeah, BNB. Okay, yeah, Binance. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about that, and I think on their on Binance's platform, I think you can use BNB as in a currency in that sense to buy and exchange it for other currencies. I'm pretty sure. So here's Binance Coin. Now that one's obviously more expensive, if you will. But I mean, it's third, right? It's number 3, I think, if we look at the rankings. Yep, Binance Coin, number 3. So, and I don't know how CoinMarketCap, where their analysis comes from, but of course they got Bitcoin as a buy, Ethereum as a buy, and Binance Coin as a buy. Interestingly, they don't have Cardano as a buy. Obviously, you're probably not going to have Dogecoin as a buy. Polkadot is not on their buy list. I've heard also some that's saying that Solana is actually undervalued, but look at its return as well. So if we look at, if we sort this in descending order, now I think we all know this year-to-date return or price increase. Dogecoin had been at 6,000, right? Now it's down to 4,000, but then Solana is next. And then Binance Coin actually is number 4. And then look at that. Binance Coin was number 3. VeChain, as far as percent increase, is number 4. So Cardano's actually done really good. Filecoin, I've heard some things about, but it's $141. XRP. So anyway, I mean, there's a lot of coins to be looking at. Ethereum's not done bad. I mean, again, the top 20 or so, and even Chainlink, I've heard some good things about. You obviously can't get these kinds of returns on any other type of asset class that I'm aware of. Generally speaking, there's probably always an exception to anything, but certainly compared to stocks, bonds, interest on your money, right, in a savings account or a checking account or a CD or any of your index funds and ETFs and all of that, none of those return these kinds of returns that we're seeing here. Yeah, BTT as well. I have heard some good things about that. How many of y'all have heard about Sundial Growers. It's a stock, but that's one that I'm also hearing a lot of people talk about. Don't know, haven't looked into it enough yet, but it is possibly something that has some potential. It's a sub-dollar stock that has a 52-week high, I believe, of $3 and some change. Coinbase as well may be at a place where it's something you should get into. Now, of course, since it opened on Friday at 282, closed on 291, that might be something you want to set a limit order to buy some on, and split the difference or something between 282 and 293. It may open up higher than 282, but it could, over the course of a day, go back down. Trying to see what the low was for the day. It looks like the low for the day was 283. Well, yeah, no, wouldn't have been 283 because it's 282 is lower than that. So that must have been the lowest. Yeah, days range 282. So 282.07. It went as high as 303. So again, Coinbase might be something you want to look into as well. Do want to invite you to subscribe again. I'll say it one more time for those that are maybe new to the stream, or you're watching the replay and this is the first time you've been on this channel. If you will click that notification bell, which you have to subscribe first to do that, then obviously you'll know when we go live again. And also in the top right up there is my Twitter handle. Would love for you to follow me on Twitter. I think that's one of the best places to find a lot of really quick information on Dogecoin, cryptocurrency, broader market, stock market, all the things. So come follow me there would be great, and I will follow you back, and so I will return the favor. Friends take care of friends, right? But if you go to the, I'm going to put the link in here. If you go to this link, you could, go through some of the previous episodes, and you may want to scroll all the way to the bottom because it starts from the very first episode that I started way back 96 days ago, all the way up to basically today. And you may not be interested in some of the stuff that I was talking about prior to starting to cover Dogecoin and cryptocurrencies and all that, but I just put in the comments the link to the playlist, the YouTube playlist, and you can check that out. So Amarjit, if you're still on, I'd be more than happy to try to address your question of what to buy. I'm just not 100% clear on how much you're looking to invest. I wasn't sure if you're wanting to invest $1 actually, or if you're looking for some type of an investment that's either $1 a coin or $1 a share, or under $1 a coin or under $1 a share. Some that I'm hearing about, at least I just talked about Sundial Growers. That may be one you want to look into. It's under $1. It's like at 83 cents. You could, as far as cryptocurrencies, obviously Dogecoin is under $1. VeChain is another one we've talked about tonight, which I'm getting very excited about. That's under $1. There's a number of other ones that are under $1. So there's a couple of others that are just over $1. Cardano, XRP. Might want to go look at the Voyager app. I've got a link in the description, but strammel.info/Voyager, or you could go to Robinhood or maybe even Webull, depending on what you're looking and investing in. Webull doesn't seem to have as many cryptocurrencies on their exchange as I don't know if they're really considered an exchange, but they don't have as many as Robinhood seems to have. If you're somewhere else other than the United States, you may want to look into Kraken or Binance. I don't have links for those. I'm honestly not. Voyager is a US-based company, so I don't know if you can have a Voyager account if you're outside of the United States. I know you can for Kraken. Qcoin is another one. There's a lot of exchanges out there. Just like crypto itself, I don't really plan on knowing a lot about more than about probably 5 or 6, maybe up to 10. But there's only so much I can put inside this melon, as they say, and want to stay relevant. But there's, as all of us know, there's just so much out there. There's only so much you can take in. Hey, Sean. Yep, I'm about to shut down the stream, so thanks for joining again. I am going to turn up the music and just let it kind of roll and have the Dogecoin ticker up, if you will. Let you guys enjoy a little bit of music, and if you want to comment, I'll be watching the comments, but I'm going to turn up the music and you guys can enjoy that.